Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Donald Trump, your president, just named who he'll punish next, and his latest unhinged post set off a firestorm over his most impeachable offense yet. In a fiery post shared on Truth Social, Trump once again mixed political threats and personal insults, but this time his words carried an unmistakable message about who he plans to target next and how. Early Friday morning, Trump boasted he would block federal funds for New York City if Democratic mayoral nominee Zohran Mamdani wins office in November. Self-proclaimed New York City communist Zohran Mamdani, who is running for mayor, will prove to be one of the best things to ever happen to our great Republican Party, Trump wrote on September 29, adding, he is going to have problems with Washington like no mayor in the history of our great city. Remember, he needs the money from me as president in order to fulfill all his fake communist promises. He won't be getting any of it. So what's the point of voting for him? This ideology has failed, always, for thousands of years. It will fail again, and that's guaranteed. President DJT. You do know that presidents are not allowed to condition federal funding on political loyalty. This dude just keeps racking them up. Now, what I want to know is, are New Yorkers going to be able to not pay their fair share of taxes? They're not going to be expected to pay their fair share of taxes if Trump decides to withhold federal funding? How does that go? Let me tell you something, fam. There is no impeachable offense in the United States, point blank period, unless one party controls both houses. So all of this stuff that they've been doing, fam, is just game. It's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. That's all it is. And you know, blame it on the Constitution, you know, and blame it on the people. Blame it on these so-called smart dudes who wrote it, the corrupt dudes who wrote it, the corrupt slave owners who wrote it. The way this thing is laid out is to protect the corrupt. It's to protect thieves. It's to protect killers. Yeah. These guys just put on suits and they control the narrative. They tell the media what to write and they bully people, whatever, but really, they're the biggest criminals in America. They're the greatest threat to democracy. They're them, not the street gangs. No. See, you're not thinking big enough. If you think the street gangs are deciding what your quality of living is, you're sadly mistaken. Street gangs don't control nothing. Whenever they decide, have you ever noticed that you got some, let's say some gangbangers are hanging out, some street gangs, whatever you want to call them, they hanging out on the block and they decided, you know, looking tough and menacing and smoking weed and got the guns out. Police pull up. Get down, everybody get down. Everybody get down on the ground. They all just comply. What does that tell you? Who run it? Who really runs it? They don't run nothing. These mass shooters, they don't run nothing. All of this stuff is allowed, fam. It's allowed. At any point that leadership in this country want to do right by the people in this country, they could do it just like that. They got that kind of power. They could do it, but they don't want to do it. They love this organized chaos because that's how they control the people. Plus, they're evil. You know, like they're inherently evil. That's how they control the people. So, Trump get away with this. What's going to stop him from getting away with withholding funds to the next state? or the next city. What's going to stop him? Everybody, man, we don't do what he say, we ain't gonna get no money. And that's how you continue to consolidate power. Instead of just saying, you know what, everybody just collectively saying, man, we finna run him up out of here. But see, when they had their chance, they didn't do it. They had their chance the first time around, and they did not do it. They could have impeached him and gotten rid of him right then and there, but they wouldn't do it. And then he ran again while he was in court, facing dozens of felonies, got convicted and was still allowed to run for president. He was scared. The judges, he was punking the judge. Usually the judge give you some instructions and you don't follow those instructions. Oh man, you're getting penalized. Everybody know that. It's the judge. It's his court. He make the rules. Not with Trump. Yeah, judge was scared to death. The judge was scared to make rulings because the judge didn't want to look too stupid, didn't want to look like too much of a coward, because every time the judge gave him some instructions, the dude straight up ignored those instructions. The judge tried to put a muzzle on him, tried to tell him, hey man, be quiet, shut up, don't talk on this, don't speak on that. He go right to Truth Social and start talking. And the judge wouldn't do nothing. Never held him in contempt of court. Never. Anybody else would have went to jail, but not him. So what do you think's gonna happen? If you have a child and your child is allowed to kick you, cuss you, slap your ass whenever they feel like it, because they don't like something or they're upset, and you reward that child with a birthday party and the latest gadgets, let them go to the concerts and kick it with their friends, what is their incentive to do right by you? There is no incentive, because there ain't no consequences for that child's actions. And this is the part that you don't get. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.
Where do we go from here? How do we get this way?